You wouldn't expect a black man to make headlines in the newspapers, especially in the late 1800s. One, for example, reads, "The most conspicuous man in America." Another one, quote, "First colored Catholic priest. Quincy had the honor of giving him to the world."
I think Father Tolton is an icon for America.
Calvin Bell, a parishioner at Blessed Sacrament Church in Springfield, says Father Augustine Tolton is like family to him.
He understood that suffering is a part of the process of redemption. And that is exactly what he did.
Born into slavery in northern Missouri, Father Tolton and his family, they traveled up the Mississippi River one night and eventually made Quincy home.
But in going to parochial schools, he felt a call to be ordained a priest, but was not allowed to be ordained a priest because of racist sentiment at the time.
But that was not easy, says Father Darren Zenley of the Springfield Diocese, who over the years put Father Tolton at the center of his studies. He says becoming a black priest back then was unheard of.
And they received the same reply, "We're not ready for a Negro student."
Until he got his chance one day, but he had to fly to a missionary college in Rome for study. He was there for about 5 years and thought he'd be sent to Africa to serve. But a cardinal had other plans for him.
The cardinal then said, "America has been called the most enlightened nation on earth." He said, "We'll see if it deserves that honor. If the U.S. has not yet seen a black priest, it must see one now." And he made the decision to send Father Tolton back to Quincy.
Zenley says the news, it spread fast. He got back to Quincy, met by a crowd of 1,500 people, black and white.
But he was the first black priest that anyone in the U.S. had seen. And so there was something particularly important about that. But he was able to preach in such a sincere and an authentic way that people saw in him, I think, something of the reflection of the life of Christ.
Father Tolton one step closer to sainthood, which is a big deal within the Catholic faith. It means it's a big deal not only for Quincy, for the Diocese of Springfield, but for the entire world to have an African-American priest have this title.
So we look for the life of a man or a woman whose life sort of exudes a holiness, a certain quality about it.
It takes years, sometimes decades, after you die. Father Tolton is considered venerable right now and in the final stages of becoming a saint. Catholic leaders and Pope Francis will now investigate his life work and soon determine if he ever bestowed a miracle on someone's life during his time on earth.
He understood that in order to transform the person who persecutes you, you have to love that person.
Bell, who's an emergency room doctor himself, he sees value in that. He says he's been denied apartments because of his race in the past, and many times the only black doctor in the room. He says he sees himself through Father Tolton.
You can be angry, or you can do what Father Tolton did, what Dr. King asked you to do. Pray for your enemy. Love your enemy. Love those who cause suffering in you, and it is that will hopefully redeem that person.
Justin Carter reporting.